You're listening to the Hidden Killers podcast with Tony Brueski,
featuring attorney, guest, and former felony prosecutor Eric Faddis.
Call in the taint team. That's what happened in the case of Shanna Gardner. It's nothing dirty. I'm just going to say that right now. The taint team, basically, it's part of discovery. There was a lot of information. I'm going to try and explain it here. I want Eric Faddis to explain it better. But from my understanding, you got a bunch of information that some of it is attorney-client privilege, some of it is evidence. You don't want the prosecutor to see the things that are attorney-client privilege, so you need an independent third party to say, you can have this, you can have that. That happened. They're saying this didn't happen really on the up and up, if you will. Former prosecutor, defense attorney Eric Faddis, did I explain that well?
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, a good example is like with a cell phone download. So you have a defendant, they're arrested for something, and then the police get a search warrant for their cell phone. That they download the entire phone, not just little bits and pieces, because that's really where their technology is at presently. And then usually, like you said, they have kind of a neutral party that acts as a wall between that evidence and the prosecutorial team. And the only thing that gets through that wall is supposed to be, relevant evidence to the case and not attorney-client communications or things that are entirely unrelated to the case. So in theory, that's how the taint team is supposed to work.
So what are they looking at here? What's the argument of this whole thing with Shanna Gardner, because they're filing a motion to dismiss the indictment against her? Obviously, that's probably not going to happen. But what is the real goal here by raising these issues, and what are they arguing was mishandled?
You know, I think what defense is arguing, and I have a similar issue in a case of mine, is that the attorney-client relationship is so sacrosanct that there is it's so important to keep that private. And if law enforcement invades the province of that is a violation. And that is it's unfair. It's inconsistent with due process. And so that prosecution team should not be able to do that. And so what's the objective? Like you said, dismissal is probably not going to happen. But having the prosecutor be recused and get a whole new prosecutorial team on board, well, that injects chaos. The prosecution has to start from scratch, and so it does lend some advantages to the defense.
Sure, I mean, it certainly can buy you time. It can buy you a different prosecutor. Could that be part of the game in this here, where you look at this and you go, and I don't know who the prosecutor is on this. I know nothing about the prosecutor on this case. At this moment in time. But if it is a good prosecutor, if it's one you're the defense, you go, we're going against this one. You can bring something like this up if you have the evidence that it happened. Is it kind of like, spinning the wheel of fortune, saying, okay, well, they're going to be out. Let's see if the state has anybody different that they can throw away, and maybe they won't be, quite the bulldog that this one is, but it is kind of spinning the wheel.
Yeah, that's true. And there's a lot of chess moves that take place in criminal litigation, and this strikes me as one of them. If they get maybe they just were so dissatisfied with the prosecutor, maybe there were no plea negotiations going on, and they think to themselves, hey, get some fresh eyes on this, get someone with a new perspective. Maybe they'll approach it differently. Maybe there's some way to either resolve this case or at least gain some tactical advantage when the prosecution has to completely reset from the beginning.
Yeah. It certainly, adds another layer to it. Would this be something that would be brought up in the actual trial itself, if in fact they do get like a special prosecutor on this?
That part is a little more questionable because the issue of the original prosecutor violating the attorney-client privilege, if that's what happened, and confidentiality, is not really related to whether Shanna Gardner is guilty or not. And so I would be surprised if a judge allowed a jury to hear about that invasion of the attorney-client confidentiality because it's just not really germane to what the jury has to decide.
Just more so as they try and get ready for this. It's another chess move. See if it works, see what happens.
Sick of the ads?
We are too.
Start listening with no commercials now and get access to all of our episodes in advance of everyone else.
Become a True Crime Today Premium Plus subscriber on Apple Podcasts.
Search True Crime Today Premium Plus on Apple Podcasts or go to our podcast page and sign up now.
True Crime Today Premium Plus.
Sign up now.